Stonington, thanks for joining us. We're really excited to be here today at the Yellow Farmhouse Education Center, and we're with the Executive Director, Jen Rothman. And so Jen, we're hoping you could tell people who maybe aren't as familiar with the Yellow Farmhouse a little bit about your mission and the work you guys do here in Stonington.
Absolutely, yeah, thanks. So the Yellow Farmhouse Education Center is a 3-year-old nonprofit organization that's based here at Stone Acres Farm on the campus of this beautiful 60-acre farm, and our mission is to connect people to where their food comes from, and we do that through food and farm-based education. So traditionally that has looked like cooking classes for kids and farm tours and field trips, and most recently we've sort of shifted our programming to be virtual. So we're doing a lot of virtual cooking classes with kids, lectures virtually for adults. On site we have a lot of outdoor activities that people can do, like plein air painting. We set up easels at different spots on the farm so kids and adults can spend some time just observing the farm and painting. We have a scavenger hunt that you can pick up and just kind of explore the farm. And we've just done various programs outdoors for the last couple of months.
Oh, that's great. I know what I'm doing this weekend with the kids. No, that's great. And then could you also tell us about some of the work that you have done and are continuing to do with the schools?
Yeah, so we used to do a lot of field trips and had a lot of students visit here. And then as we had to shift to the virtual model, there's been some really great opportunities with that. So we've been able to do virtual field trips where we welcome students to the farm for a tour. We did a tour of the woodlands, for example, and talked all about native plants. And this week we're doing a field trip where we are taking students to Mystic Oysters, and we're doing a virtual tour. And so we're able to take them to places that maybe they wouldn't have been able to visit, and also to reach a lot more kids. So these field trips are reaching every single 5th grader in Stonington and all the 5th graders at the Harbor School in New London.
That's exciting.
Yeah, so we've been able, because of the virtual programming, even our cooking classes that we're doing with kids, we've had kids join us from Florida and upstate New York, so we're able to really expand our reach and talk about this beautiful place and also about resilient agriculture and how our food gets to our table.
That's so wonderful. And so beyond kids, are there things that you guys do with teachers at the schools?
Yeah, so we also do a lot of professional development for teachers, a lot of culinary teachers, but also teachers of all grades and ages. And what we try to do is talk about how you can incorporate food and farming into their curriculum to kind of bring it to life. And so this week we're working with about 15 teachers from New York for a week-long training that introduces all sorts of resources. We do interviews with experts and engage in conversations, and then at the end of the week we're all going to be cooking breakfast together on Saturday.
That's so
virtually.
nice. Virtually. That's so nice. Could you give us an example of something like a social studies or science class? Like how would food and farming be integrated there?
Sure. Like so that for the 5th grade classes we're doing now, it's to complement the social studies curriculum, which looks at sort of the history of the region. It looks at Native American uses of plants and the way that colonists and Native Americans interacted upon contact. And so we are exploring that by looking at the food that was eaten. And so last visit we had the students sort of take a trip out to the woodlands, and we talked about the native plants that were used for food. We invited Rachel Beth Syatt, who's a member of the Mohegan Nation, to talk about traditional food festivals, and so she talked about the blueberry Thanksgiving and the cranberry Thanksgiving. And this week we're looking at the sort of history of oysters in the region, and so she's going to also talk about how the Mohegan tribal members used oysters as a food, as utensils, and then that's why we also visit Mystic Oysters to talk about sort of the more current application of technology within food production.
That's fascinating. I wish I was in 5th grade. No, Jen, thank you so much. Is there any other parting things you'd like to leave with listeners?
I mean, just to visit our website, yellowfarmhouse.org, and we are hosting a film coming up in a couple weeks that is free through funding through the Kinetic and Humanities. And we have all sorts of programming that we're planning for the winter, so I hope that people visit us and partake in one of our cooking classes or lectures or films.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you.